Imagine a man who rose from a starving outcast on the windswept Mongolian steppe to command an army so relentless it stitched the largest land empire the world has ever seen, stretching from the Pacific to the Caspian in barely 2 decades. That man was Genghis Khan. To his followers, he was a visionary, rewriting the rules of warfare with lightning-fast cavalry and iron discipline. To his enemies, he was a living nightmare, a storm that erased cities, cultures, and millions of lives. His name still echoes through history as the embodiment of unstoppable power, and the brutal stories behind that power are darker than most dare to remember. Let's discuss some of the most horrific things Genghis Khan did, ranked from brutal to downright inhuman. Number 10. He killed his own brother over a fish. Before he was Genghis Khan, he was just Temujin, a kid surviving in the cold, unforgiving Mongolian steppes after his father was poisoned. His family was left to starve. At just 14, after catching fish to feed his family, his older half-brother Bektar took one and ate it all himself. No apology, no sharing, just selfish greed. Temujin didn't argue. He grabbed his bow and shot Bektar in the back, killing him instantly. This wasn't just about food, it was about dominance. In that moment, he sent a message. Cross me once, and you're done. And if that sounds extreme for a teenager, just wait until you see what he did when he ruled an empire. Number 9. Boiling an enemy commander alive. Genghis Khan didn't just kill his enemies, sometimes he wanted them to suffer. Between 1219 and 1221, the Mongol forces under Genghis Khan invaded the lands of the Khwarezmian Empire in Central Asia. During this expedition, a Persian commander named Jalal ad-Din put up a fierce resistance and even defeated a Mongol army at the Battle of Parwan. Yeah, this didn't sit well with Genghis. Later, when one of Jalal's allied commanders was captured, Genghis ordered a punishment meant to serve as a warning. He had the man boiled alive. Some sources claim the commander was placed into a giant cauldron and slowly cooked to death, while others were forced to watch. It was psychological warfare at its most extreme, meant not just to kill but to break spirits. Number 8. The massacre of Urgu, a city that refused to die quietly. Urgu, one of the richest cities in the Khwarezmian Empire, didn't go down without a fight. Its people resisted fiercely, holding off Mongol attacks for weeks. Genghis Khan, growing increasingly frustrated, eventually handed over the siege to his son, Tolui, with terrifying instructions. Once the walls were breached, the Mongols faced house-to-house combat in narrow alleys. They lost a lot of men, and that made the final order even more brutal. Genghis Khan allegedly ordered every person in the city killed, a death toll that some say reached 1 million. The killing was so exhaustive that the Mongols had to rotate execution squads to avoid fatigue. Urgu, once a thriving hub of wealth and culture, was reduced to blood and rubble. Number 7. He killed people even after he died. Most people just want peace when they die. Genghis Khan? He wanted secrecy, and he was ready to kill for it. Before he passed, he gave strict instructions. No one was to know where he was buried. His funeral procession was guarded by soldiers with one mission: to kill anyone who saw them. Travelers, villagers, didn't matter. No witnesses. And once they buried him, the soldiers who helped were executed too. Some say a river was diverted to cover the tomb. Others say thousands died just to keep it hidden. The location of his grave remains unknown to this day. Because even in death, Khan ensured no one lived to tell the tale. Number 6. He poured molten silver into a man's face. In 1218, Genghis sent a trade caravan of 450 peaceful merchants to the Khwarezmian Empire. But the governor of Otrar thought they were spies. He seized them, looted their goods, and executed them. Genghis didn't respond with diplomacy. He responded with annihilation. After destroying the empire city by city, he captured that same governor. And as punishment, he ordered molten silver to be poured into the man's eyes, ears, or some say his entire face. The pain? Unimaginable. But the message? Crystal clear. Betray him once, and you'll pay with more than just your life. Number 5. He used women and children as human shields. When the Mongols invaded China for the first time, they faced massive cities with fortified walls. Genghis Khan, still learning siege warfare, had a problem: how to get inside without losing thousands of men. His solution? Human shields. He captured civilians, men, women, and even children, and forced them to march in front of his armies. When the defending archers rained arrows down, they hit their own people first. Some were even forced to carry siege equipment to the walls, walking directly into traps, boiling oil, and fire. It wasn't a one-time tactic. It became a trademark. Cold, effective, and utterly merciless. Number 4, he starved an entire city into cannibalism. In 1214, the Mongols surrounded Zhengdu, modern-day Beijing. After demanding tribute, Genghis left, seemingly satisfied. But when the Chinese emperor fled and tried rebuilding his forces elsewhere, Genghis came back. This time, there was no negotiation. His troops surrounded the city, destroyed crops, and blocked food supplies. A rescue mission sent to deliver grain was intercepted. The Mongols ate the food in plain view of the starving citizens. Months passed, people began to eat the dead, some say even worse. When the Mongols finally stormed the city, the rage was unmatched. Tens of thousands were slaughtered. Over 60,000 women ended their own lives rather than face capture. The city was burned, and the stench of death was so thick, even the Mongols couldn't bear to stay. Number 3, he erased the city of Merv. By 1221, Genghis Khan's army reached the prosperous city of Merv, modern-day Turkmenistan. It was one of the largest cities in the Islamic world, home to as many as 1 million people. The citizens, terrified by stories of Otrar and Samarkand, surrendered peacefully, hoping to be spared. They weren't. The Mongols rounded up the population, marched them outside the city, and divided them into groups. Then, methodically, they were executed, every man, woman, and child. Estimates range from 700,000 to over 1 million dead. Only artisans and a few women were spared. The rest were wiped out. The water systems were destroyed, the land salted. Merv ceased to exist. Number 2, skull pyramids in Nishapur. After surrendering to the Mongols, the city of Nishapur tried to rebel. They killed Genghis Khan's son-in-law, which turned a military mission into something far more personal. Khan's daughter demanded revenge, and she got it. His son, Tului, led the charge. Once the city fell, his troops executed every living thing: men, women, children, animals. Then they built 2 massive pyramids of skulls, one for men, one for women and kids. Rivers of blood flowed through the streets. The city was left a barren wasteland for years. No mercy, no survivors. Just bones and silence. Number 1, he erased an entire civilization. Toward the end of his life, Genghis Khan turned his fury on the Tangut people of Western Xia, in what's now northwestern China. They had refused to support him in earlier campaigns, and he never forgot. As his final wish, he ordered the Tanguts to be erased. Not defeated, erased. Their cities were razed, their kings were executed. Their language, culture, and history were burned and buried. Survivors were scattered across the empire and forcibly assimilated. To this day, almost nothing remains of the Tangut civilization. No cities, no written language, no records. It may be the first recorded example of intentional genocide. And it was Genghis Khan's parting gift to the world. Genghis Khan wasn't just a military genius. He was a force of nature. A man who built the largest land empire in history by drowning the world in blood and fire. His enemies didn't just lose battles. They lost everything. Their families, their homes, their cultures. Sometimes even their entire existence. And that's what made him more than just a conqueror. That's what made him terrifying. Want more stories that school textbooks won't touch? Stick around, because history gets dark, and we're just getting started. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel, because history hackers never stop breaking into the secrets of time.